There's a rule in life that separates ordinary men from dangerous ones. And it starts in the moment when the room turns against you. Maybe you've been there. Someone throws a jab, a sly insult, a public accusation that cuts deep. Suddenly, every eye in the room is on you, waiting, watching, wanting to see how you'll react. Your chest tightens, your mind races. You feel the urge to defend yourself, to explain, to clear your name. But listen carefully. That's the trap. The second you defend yourself, you've already lost. Why? Because the man who explains kneels. The man who justifies accepts the authority of his accuser. He admits, without realizing it, that the other person has the right to judge him. Strong men don't do this. Dangerous men don't do this. They let the insult burn in the air until the attacker begins to choke on it. 1. Why defending yourself makes you weak. When you defend yourself, you think you're setting the record straight. But power games aren't about truth. They're about perception. And the moment you say, "That's not true, let me explain," you've stepped into their frame. Now you're not the one watching from above. You're on trial. And even if you win the argument, you still look guilty. Why? Because only the weak feel the need to prove themselves. The strong, they don't explain. They don't justify. They don't beg. They let silence do the talking. 2. The predator's silence. Think about a lion. When someone calls a lion dangerous, does it call a press conference? Does it start explaining? No, you've misunderstood. I'm not really that bad. Number the lion just stares. That stare cuts deeper than any argument ever could. Predators don't justify themselves to prey. And that's exactly how you should move. Your goal isn't to be understood. Your goal is to be untouchable. And silence, calm, unshaken silence, creates more fear, more respect, more power than 1,000 words ever will. 3. The social kill shot. Picture this. You're at a dinner. Someone smirks and says, "You always think you're the smartest guy here, don't you?" Most men, they'd laugh nervously. Or they'd start defending themselves. "No, that's not true, I was just..." And in that moment, their status dies. But the dangerous move? Silence. Stillness. Maybe a slow look in their direction. Nothing more. Now everyone else in the room feels the tension. They start wondering, why didn't he respond? Did that attack just bounce off him? Does he know something we don't? The attacker shifts in their seat. Suddenly they look insecure, weak, small, and you haven't even said a word. That's the kill shot. You flip the frame without lifting a finger. 4. Mystery is power. Here's the truth. The more people understand you, the less they fear you. When you explain yourself, you strip away the mystery. When you stay silent, you force them to guess. And people almost always overestimate the one who says nothing. That's why the most powerful men in history rarely spoke the most. They let their presence do the work. They let their silence weigh heavier than words. 5. Silence destroys the insecure. Here's the funny part. When you don't defend yourself, your accuser begins to self-destruct. At first, they repeat the insult louder. Then they add details. Then they start looking for allies. Why? Because your silence is unbearable to them. They wanted a fight. And instead, you gave them a mirror. Now they look desperate. They look insecure. And the crowd sees it. 6. Reframing. The coldest counter. Sometimes silence isn't enough. Sometimes you strike back with precision. Not a defense, a reframe. Someone says, "You're arrogant." You say, "Confidence tends to upset the insecure." Someone says, "You're manipulative." You say, "Only people who can't be influenced think that way." You didn't defend. You attacked the frame. And now they're scrambling to justify themselves while you sit back in control. 7. The vanishing act. The deadliest move of all is complete disappearance. No reply, No reaction, no acknowledgement. You vanish like they don't even exist. This drives insecure people insane. They post more, they talk louder, they try harder to provoke you. And with every attempt, they expose their obsession. Meanwhile, you stay untouchable. That's not losing the fight. That's making them destroy themselves, chasing your attention.